Family. It's adoring, affectionate, and close-knit. But most importantly, it's the topic of today's video. Howdy folks, my name is Evan Glad, and today we're taking a deep dive into the real meaning of family and the importance that it plays in the film industry as a whole. Things we will be covering today. Family, why families are important, and how film uses family to further cement the messages of the film. The first thing we're going to talk about is the meaning of family. Now, the standard definition of family that you're going to find is descendants of a common ancestor. Now, though this is true, the definition has definitely changed a lot more in common years. See, with this previous definition, it doesn't account for parents who have adopted, step family, their friends, or their house pets. So for the purposes of this video, we're not going to be using that old definition. We're going to be using this one. Now that we've defined a family, we can now use this to answer the question, why are families important and why should you care about them? And that question we're going to answer tomorrow because it is 2 a.m. on a school night and I'm tired. It's the next day and now I'm here to answer the question. Families are important because they're the people in this world that give you support and security, and they genuinely hope for you to do your best in this world. If you need a shoulder to cry on, family's there. If you need advice for a big decision that you have to make in your life, family is there. And if you just need to feel loved, family is there. And if they're not, would you really consider them your family? Love and affection is something us as humans need to actually survive. If we don't have those people in our lives that genuinely look for our best interests at heart, then life is significantly harder to do things all on your own. Now, the film industry acknowledges and understands how much family means to their audience, that they cleverly use it to push their narrative and storytelling. And some even use the themes of family to manipulate our feelings for a specific character on the screen. The film industry hit the jackpot when they found out people love family so much that they'll sit down for hours and hours just watching a family on a TV or sitcom, and they can make bank off that, dude. For example, let's see, we got Full House, Modern Family, Family Guy, Fresh Prince, pretty much every show made by Disney, The Brady Bunch, King of the Hill, The Simpsons, Arrested Development, Bob's Burgers, Malcolm in the Middle, The Middle. Heck, I'll even throw in Young Sheldon in there. And that's just me getting started. All these shows focus on family-like groups going through ups and downs, drama here, drama there, but you know, nothing really interesting is gonna happen because we're only on season 2 out of 12 and Sheldon just said bazinga for the first time. The only issue with these sitcoms is the problems always get resolved. It's not a question of whether if it will get resolved, it now changes the audience to thinking how it'll get resolved. It just becomes pretty predictable that things are always gonna go in the way of our main characters. But let's be real, with sitcoms like these, you're not really there for the story. You're just there to sit back, relax, turn your brain off, and watch 9 seasons of how this man met these kids' mother. Who is it? I don't know, I haven't finished. The problem with this is we're watching these characters slowly develop over hundreds of hours of our real time. But that's where movies come in and really stand out story-wise when bringing in the whole family aspect. In movies, we're not seeing a 10-season show of these goofy little misfit characters trying to get along. Instead, we're seeing 1 to 3 hours of carefully planned out storylines that will develop all the important characters in a satisfying and fulfilling way. Instead of in a lot of sitcoms where they use the family trope just to bring in a couple laughs along the way, in movies, they use family as a tool to really send a message to the audience and to really get you to feel for these characters that you see on the screen. I want you to think of a movie, any movie, and I guarantee you that family, whether intentional or not, is one of the key themes or aspects of this movie. Even films such as I Am Legend or Logan also fit into this. In Logan, he finds this girl with superpowers and he ends up having to help her, but then he develops this bond that is unbreakable, kind of like a family bond. And in I Am Legend, he's doing everything in his power throughout the whole movie to try to get things back to where they were, try to get back to his family. And you can even say that his dog is his family in this movie. The way he cares for his dog is like how he would be caring for his daughter or his mom, his wife, if they were still there with him. Family, you can find it in almost any movie these days, some more obvious than others. With a family-like aspect, they give us characters that play off each other really well. And if they weren't in this relationship and they don't even care for each other, why should we care for these people on this screen? We lose that attachment that sometimes people get. Like Eddie Munson, you know when that guy died? Earlier in this video, I stated how family is sometimes used as a tactic to manipulate our feelings towards specific characters on the screen. Take a villain, someone who's doing horrible things and impacting people's lives in a very negative way. But now let me say that this villain isn't doing it for selfish purposes. He is doing these deeds to make money, to support his family, or maybe even doing it to get revenge on a person who hurt his family, hurt his loved one. Now we instantly become more sympathetic towards them. Why? Because we can relate to them. We understand how much they care for their family because of how much we care for ours. And now, instead of him doing these horrible deeds, you're just seeing it as he's doing what he thinks is necessary to make sure his family is happy. One of my favorite examples of using family as a tactic to make us feel sympathetic for a villain is in the show Breaking Bad, baby. Woo! Breaking Bad beautifully illustrates the effort and drive of doing whatever it takes to support your family. When Walter White starts selling methamphetamine, we understand that it's bad, it's illegal. You can't be doing that stuff. But then we take into account that he's doing it to raise money so that his family can get by after he dies from his cancer. We look past the fact that he is actively breaking the law and end up rooting for him that he makes the money he needs so that his family is financially stable. When we get to later seasons of this show though, it uses that same technique of using family to flip us on our heads and root against this man we've been watching and rooting for this whole time. And this is simply because we find out that this is no longer for his family. He's doing this for himself. He even outright says it in the last episode.
All the things that I did, you need to understand.
I have to hear one more time that you did this for the family.
I did it for me. I liked it.
Walter White ends up doing more harm to his family than any good. And that's why we grow to dislike him. It's not because of the people he killed. It's not because of the people he manipulated. It's because he went against his own word and went against his family. Film is such an important part of our culture, of the world's culture. And the fact that families so often using it to cleverly sway the audience's feelings and opinions towards different aspects of the film just really goes to show how impactful and important family is in our day-to-day lives. I think it's really smart how they take this aspect that almost everyone has and puts it in to these films for our own entertainment. It really helps us get engaged. Now, my whole main goal with this video essay about family and film wasn't really to educate, but it was more to make you think. I want you to think now of how your views on your family impact and affect the ways that you see media. In the end, family is used in a lot of media to play off of our emotions and our feelings and our opinions on all these things happening in the film because we can all relate to it and we all understand it. Now that's the end. That's where we draw the line here, folks. I hope you had a pleasant time watching this and learned a thing or two.